Welcome to the next episode of Beyond the Veil.
Glad to be here.
It feels like everyone is just so exhausted right now. I mean, you look at your social media feed or you talk to your friends and quiet quitting or burnout or just this whole trend of romanticizing, logging off, and doing absolutely nothing are the only things people are even talking about.
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere.
Right. It feels like this massive universal wave of profound fatigue has just settled over humanity. And a standard weekend off or even a quick vacation, it doesn't even begin to put a dent in it.
Yeah, we are definitely witnessing a widespread cultural phenomenon. I mean, people are collectively deciding to just withdraw.
Yeah.
They're pulling back from the constant noise, the grind, that perpetual urgency that has really defined modern life for the last few decades.
If you want a deeper and more advanced and accurate take on spirituality, this podcast is for you. Because today we are going to look at that exact feeling of universal exhaustion through a completely different, almost reverse-engineered lens.
It's a very necessary lens, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. So we are unpacking a highly specific and, frankly, powerful transmission from Master Spirit Walker.
Yes.
The text is titled The Sacred Bridge, Calibrating the Body for Spiritual Awakening. And I have to say, reading through his work completely disrupted how I view this current burnout trend.
It changes everything. It really does.
It totally does. So we're going to explore why you might be feeling profoundly unanchored, how society completely misdiagnoses this sensation, and how to safely bridge the gap between a rapidly expanding awareness and a dense physical body.
And what's so brilliant here is that Master Spirit Walker brings a vital physiological perspective to an area we usually, only discuss in abstract terms.
Right, like we keep it so ethereal usually.
Exactly. We spend so much time analyzing spiritual awakening as this exclusively mental or emotional shift. We talk about changing our mindsets or opening our hearts.
Yeah.
But spirit grounds the entire process right back into the stark reality of the central nervous system.
Which makes so much sense. To really understand what Master Spirit Walker is talking about, I was thinking about it okay, think about a major software upgrade on an older computer.
Well, that's a good way to look at it.
Right. So your mind and your spirit, that's the software, right? And they just downloaded this massive, brilliant new operating system.
Yeah.
But your physical body is the hardware. It's an older model. So the software is updated, but the hardware is lagging. It's overheating. The fan is whirring super loud, and it is just struggling to process the sheer size of this new operating system.
That is exactly it. And I want to speak directly to you, the listener, for a second, because if you have been feeling this, if you feel sluggish or overwhelmed or just completely unanchored right now,
Yeah.
I need to validate that experience for you.
Yes, please.
It is so real. Your consciousness, your software is expanding rapidly, but your dense physical hardware needs time to recalibrate to hold that new data.
And what's wild is how society completely misinterprets that hardware lag.
Right.
We move from this general feeling of exhaustion to how modern systems actively misdiagnose it.
They absolutely do. Master Spirit Walker is highly specific about the physical descriptions in the text. He talks about waking up and feeling strangely light.
Yeah, but not in a good way, right?
Not in a rested, euphoric way at all. He describes feeling profoundly unanchored. It's almost like you are standing inside your physical frame, but hovering just slightly above it.
Wow. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And modern systems are terrified of that specific detached sensation. So when you present with this hovering, unanchored feeling, the medical world will instinctively label it dissociation.
Right.
And the corporate world will slap the label of burnout on it. Because, we live in a society that treats the human body like a piece of industrial machinery.
Yeah, like a factory part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If the machine slows down, loses focus, or stops producing at maximum capacity, the immediate assumption is that there's a malfunction.
It has to be fixed immediately.
Right. It has to be diagnosed, medicated, or performance managed the second it stops being a productive asset. Modern society just doesn't leave room for the possibility that a massive slowdown might actually be a profound internal upgrade.
Okay, but wait. I struggle with this framing a little bit, and I have to push back here because I know someone listening is thinking the exact same thing.
Sure, go for it.
How do you know the difference between genuinely just needing a long vacation, like from a toxic job, and experiencing this profound spiritual shift?
That is the million-dollar question.
Because if someone is genuinely burned out from an abusive boss, or they're dealing with clinical depression, telling them it's a spiritual upgrade feels, I don't know, a bit dismissive of their real-world suffering. From the outside, lethargy, detachment, and brain fog look almost identical in both cases.
It is a critical distinction, and Master Spirit Walker definitely does not dismiss real-world trauma. He uses his insights to explain the actual signature of this feeling.
Okay, the signature.
Yes. When you tune into the body, a spiritual shift carries an energetic signature that feels fundamentally different from depression or toxic burnout.
How so?
Well, ordinary burnout feels contracted. It feels hollow, tight, and heavy. It's like a car running on fumes where the engine is literally grinding against itself.
Yeah, I felt that.
Right. But the spiritual shift, this recalibration we're talking about, it feels expansive. It is not an empty tank. It is a tank that is actively expanding its capacity.
Oh, that's fascinating.
The tiredness comes not from running on empty, but from the massive caloric and neurological output required to wire entirely new neural pathways.
So it's like the difference between a muscle being injured from repetitive strain versus a muscle being sore because it's growing after you lifted a heavier weight.
That is exactly it.
Yeah.
And highly sensitive people, the empaths who sense energy and atmosphere, they feel this expansion first.
They're like the early warning system.
Yes. And the tragedy is that without this framework, highly sensitive people just internalize the societal labels.
Yeah.
They assume they are failing at life.
Right. They say, I'm broken, or I'm just too weak to handle normal stress.
Exactly. They wrongly blame themselves, not realizing their nervous system is simply overwhelmed by the sensory input of a much larger awareness attempting to dock into a biological framework.
Wow. Let's unpack that biological framework because having established what this feeling is, the physical mechanics of why it happens are just fascinating.
They really are.
If the mind has this incredible breakthrough, why does the physical body struggle so violently to keep up?
We have to look at the differing speeds of evolution. A spiritual realization can happen in a flash, literally outside of linear time.
Right, like an epiphany.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can suddenly see through an illusion or drop a lifelong limiting belief or question an old belief instantly. The spirit awakens instantaneously.
But the body doesn't.
No, the physical body is dense. It is bound by biology. It is built entirely for survival, rhythm, and safety.
So the hardware can't process the instant download.
Exactly. When your consciousness expands rapidly, your deep cellular memory, the literal wiring of your nervous system, needs biological time to recalibrate.
It makes me think of growing pains.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
Like when you're a kid and your legs literally ache in the middle of the night because your bones are stretching. You don't tell a child to stop growing when their legs ache.
No, you comfort them.
Exactly. You get a warm towel or you rub their legs. And I think it's important for the listener to hear this. What you are experiencing are spiritual growing pains.
That is so true. And this is exactly why Master Spirit Walker points out that this feeling comes in waves.
The waves are the most frustrating part.
Oh, I know. But at full force, all at once awakening would completely overwhelm the human nervous system. It would be way too much electrical current for our biological wires to handle.
It would short-circuit the whole computer.
Exactly. So the body initiates an integration cycle. It opens and adjusts to the new frequency, then it shuts down to rest. Then it opens again.
Which explains why you might feel incredibly clear and grounded for 3 days. You're like, I finally figured my life out.
Yes.
And then on Thursday, boom, without warning, you are hit with this wave of foggy, floaty exhaustion, and you can barely get off the couch. It feels like you're regressing.
But it's not a regression. The body is just saying, we have integrated as much new awareness as the tissue can hold right now. We must pause and solidify this.
So if the body is going through these intense growing pains, and we clearly shouldn't force it to act normal, what practical steps can we take to help it?
This is where we talk about building what Master Spirit Walker calls the sacred bridge.
The sacred bridge, I love that.
The very first directive he gives is radical gentleness. You have to signal safety to your animal body.
What does that look like practically?
Very grounded steps. You ground yourself, you eat real heavy root-based foods, you drink a lot of water, you touch the earth with your bare skin, and you drastically turn down the noise.
Turning down the noise is so hard, but so necessary right now.
It is. This is the sacred bridge he talks about. Spirit above, body below. As your awareness expands upward, your physical roots must deepen downward.
You know, trying to navigate this alone is just completely overwhelming, which is exactly why ecosystems and frameworks like the Starseed Psychics Marketplace exist.
Oh, absolutely. They are such a great resource for this.
Right. When your nervous system is spinning out, you need practical tools to help the body catch up.
And Starseed Psychics functions as a true sanctuary for light workers and empaths who are in the thick of this recalibration. It's founded on decades of master psychic experience.
Which means they actually understand the toll this takes.
Exactly. They understand the specific energetic toll of an awakening, and they offer this incredible variety of support to help anchor the body.
Yeah, they have everything from shamanic and archangel readings to tarot readings.
But the part that really bridges the gap we are talking about today is their focus on physical grounding tools.
Yes, the physical objects.
They offer spiritual home decor, mugs, tumblers, and even cell phone accessories.
And someone might hear that and think, wait, how does a tumbler or a cell phone accessory help with the profound spiritual awakening?
Right, it sounds mundane at first, but if you understand nervous system regulation, it makes complete sense. Holding a warm, textured, physical object, like a mug, grounds the mammalian nervous system.
And the phone accessories.
Think about it. Your cell phone is usually this tiny box of digital anxiety. Repurposing it with a visual, spiritual grounding tool helps interrupt that stress response every time you look at it.
That is brilliant.
It really is. They even offer specialized services like pet psychics and Reiki. It creates this holistic environment of support to remind the physical body that it is safe.
And to support your journey even further, we have provided a link in the episode description for you to purchase books by Master Psychic Spirit Walker.
His work is just essential reading.
It really is. He maps out the physiological realities of this journey with such incredible precision. And through that same link, you will also find books by Psychic Gypsy Wind.
Yes, her insights are incredible.
They really are. She offers profound wisdom that beautifully complements Spirit's teachings. Holding those physical books and reading them is a grounding practice in itself.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's look at the horizon here. Once you utilize these tools and you are fiercely protecting your peace and you allow the body to catch up, what does the other side of this transformation actually look like?
Master Spirit Walker presents a reality that is incredibly liberating, but I will warn you, it can be a bit intimidating to the ego at first.
Oh, so?
He reveals that the old normal may be gone for good. You do not revert back to the chronically stressed person you were before the shift. You enter an entirely new state of being.
So what does that new state feel like?
The defining characteristic is that urgency fades. The frantic need to constantly do and perform simply dissolves. Your attachments loosen.
Wow.
Yeah. Your relationship to drama softens because you just no longer have the biological bandwidth to sustain chaotic energy. Things that used to control your nervous system completely lose their power over you.
That connects perfectly back to the current event we mentioned in the intro.
Oh, right. The quiet quitting.
Exactly. So this quiet exodus we are seeing in the world, people withdrawing, simplifying their lives, is that actually humanity pulling back from the noise to integrate what is awakening within us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Emphatically, yes. Master Spirit Walker affirms that people are not disappearing and they are not failing. They are recalibrating.
They're just stepping out of a toxic frequency.
Precisely. It feels unsettling at first to watch people step away from the grind, but ultimately it is absolute freedom.
So to wrap this up, I want to speak directly to you listening. If you are lying there wondering why you can't muster the energy to care about the rat race anymore, there is ultimate comfort found in Master Spirit Walker's words.
Truly.
You are not crazy, you are not failing, you are not broken. You are simply changing and learning how to live at a higher frequency.
Exactly. My actionable advice for you today is this. Trust your body. Honor your awakening. And please stop trying to spiritually perform your way out of exhaustion.
You can't life hack your way out of a cellular recalibration.
No, you can't. Rest is the bridge.
I love that. Rest is the bridge. And that leaves me with one final provocative thought for you to ponder.
I love these.
If our dense physical bodies are currently exhausting themselves just to recalibrate and hold this new higher frequency, what entirely new, unimaginable human capabilities might become our new normal once the body finally catches up with the soul?
Oh, wow. That is a staggering evolutionary possibility.
It really makes you wonder what we'll be capable of.
It does.
We will leave you to explore that on your own. Thank you so much for joining us on Beyond the Veil.
Take care, everyone.